Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We were discussing the chapter of Salatul Marid, and thus far we discussed thus far we discussed this that if you are in Islam, Salat is so much emphasized that even when you are ill, you have to pray. If you have to pray standing, if you can't sitting, if you can't sitting with full ruku sajda, if you can't do that, then sitting with imam, and if you can't do that, then you have to lay on your back. If you can't do that, you have to lay on your side. Yes, if you can't lay on your side, then it becomes ma'af. Not it becomes ma'af, you will be delayed. And when we say delayed, if it is 5 in lesser salah that you are in that condition, you have to make qadha. But if it is 6 or more, in other words, with the exiting time of the 6th salah, then it becomes ma'af for you, right? Then we discussed a little bit other masail about where if a person was he could, he started off, he was completely healthy, and then he couldn't stand and he sat. We discussed that masla. Or vice versa, you were sick and you started sitting, and then you became healthy, and then you have to stand up, etc. Right? That is what we discussed. Um, right? Okay, read the next ibarat. That was briefly what I told you now. Briefly was in the whole bab. Some interesting masala that will come today that we'll cover, inshallah, about reading salah in the plane, reading salah on a ship, etc. That will also come in today's lesson, inshallah.
ومن افتتح التطوع قائما ثم أعلن لا بأس بشروطه لأنه
Okay, stop there. Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We discussed this masla thus far, right? I'm just going to mention this again because it links to this one here. That if you were reading salah, right, and all of a sudden in salah you got a severe pain, like you got maybe a pain on your side or you got a pain in your back, whatever, and you could not continue salah standing. You could not continue your salah saying then you can sit. And if you couldn't even continue salah sitting, you could even lay, right? So you can, like so to say, downgrade from the superior posture to the inferior posture because of the need, right? So that is a masa of from going to standing or to sitting or from sitting to laying. And also just don't forget when we speak about sitting, when we say you sit, the first thing of sitting is you must bow for your sajda and you must go down completely for a ruku. Then if that is not possible, then we say you make ima, which is you just indicate, right? So the new masar is going to come here. This is now not about sitting, but this is ittika, where you lean upon something, like you lean on a stick or something, which may be not so prevalent today, but maybe it was prevalent in Peter's time, but this is a masala we're going to discuss today. So see, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now remember, another thing, just before we start with this lesson, another thing I want to mention to you, because it's also based upon this. Remember, Qiyam is faraz, to stand and read your salah standing, right? That is a rukn of salah. As far as you are healthy, you have to stand and read, right? Are you with me? Yes, if you're unable, then that rukniyat falls off, right? But now, according to Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimallahu ta'ala, he says, yes, Qiyam is a rukn, but in a nafal namaz, even without a valid excuse, you can sit and read. I'll repeat that. You need to know that to understand today's lesson. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, not in a faraz namaz, not in a wajib namaz. Yes, a faraz namaz and a wajib namaz, if you got a valid excuse, then you can sit and read. But in a nafal namaz, in a, say, voluntary namaz, even without a valid excuse, you can sit, but you will get half reward. So like you're reading Tarawih namaz, or you're reading your sunnahs before Isha, you're just a bit tired, and you decided to sit and read it. You don't want to miss it completely. Maybe you're habitual of reading it for so many years, so you don't want to miss it. So you sit and read it. So according to Imam Hanifa, that's fine, but you'll get half reward. So remember that. Now let's look at the lesson. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَمَنِ افتتح التطوع قائما. Right? A person started a voluntary namaz, right? Like we're saying now here, we're speaking about anything. When you say voluntary namaz, we mean anything besides a faraz and besides a wajib, right? So it could be like the sunnahs of Zohr, it could be Ishraq namaz, it could be say Abi namaz, whatever, right? ثم أعيا, then he became tired. لا بأس أن يتوكع على عصا أو حائط. There's no problem with, I told you before, when you get the word la ba'sa, when you get the word la ba'sa, it means like how we say, it's okay, no, not a problem. So in other words, my marhum Ustad Mwana Muhammad Hashim say, you get la yani fihi ba'sun. You know, one is you ask me, Ustad Ji, can I stay absent? No, no problem. You can stay absent, fine, fine, right? Was one. I say, I want to stay absent. Okay, you can stay absent tomorrow. You see the difference? The first one, I'm wholeheartedly telling, no problem, you can stay absent tomorrow. The first one, I'm telling you wholeheartedly. But the second one, I'm saying, okay, it's okay, you can stay absent. Why don't I say, okay, I'm permitting it, but it's better if you don't do it, right? So when you see la ba'sa, it means it's permissible, but not exactly the better thing to do, right? So here Imam Hanifa is saying, so if you decide now you want to lean against the wall, maybe you are standing by a pillar, so you want to lean against the wall and continue with your nafal namaz, or you got a stick and you want to lean on the stick, whatever, right? So la ba'sa ayyatawakka ala asa aw ha'itin. This is no problem that he will lean upon a stick or the wall, right? أو يقعد, or even he can sit لأن هذا عذر. So he says this is like considered to be a valid excuse because now you are tired, right? Right? Then he's saying وإن كان الاتقاء بغير عذر يكره. So if his leaning was without an excuse, it is makruh. So from this you learn something, that the leaning is not exactly like sitting. Because remember, in sitting, Imam Hanifa said without an excuse, it's 100% fine to even sit. But here he's saying if you are leaning and you got no excuse, right, then it's not okay. You understood that? See there? So ثم أعيا لا بأس أن يتوقع على عصا وحائط ويقعد لأن هذا عذر وإن كان اتقاء right بغير عذر يكره لأنه إساءة. وقيل لا يكره إن أبي حنيفة. So it is said that according to Abu Hanifa, remember I told you when you get keel and you get qal, it refers to a weaker qawl. So it is said that even according to Abu Hanifa, even without an excuse, this masla is similar to the sitting masla. You understood? Like how you can sit and read your nafil namaz, even without excuse. Here too, you can sit, or you can lean against the wall, or you can lean against the stick and you can read. So according to this qila, the leaning masla is exactly like the sitting masla. Right? You got it. Right? Follow nicely. It's a bit complicated. It's forthcoming ibarat. So waqila la yukrahu in the Abi Hanifata. It is said it is not makruh according to Hanifa. So in other words, according to Hanifa, sitting without a valid excuse and leaning on a stick or leaning on a wall is exactly the same as sitting, right? And this is the reason for this call. لأن لو قعد عنده يجوز من غير عذر فكذا لا يكره الاتقاء. Because according to him, لو قعد عنده, if he had to sit, the Musali said in the according to him, يجوز من غير عذر, it is permissible without an excuse. فكذا لا يكره الاتقاء. So leaning will also be 100% even he got no excuse, right? But وَإِنَّهُمَا يُكْرَهُ. Now remember, according to Sahibain, they said you cannot sit without an excuse. So saying if you cannot sit without an excuse in your nafal namaz, so same thing here, it will not be correct for you also to. Why? لأنه لا يجوز القعود إنهما. They said, look here, you cannot sit and read your namaz without an excuse. Yes, when you got an excuse. So leaning is also like, a type of deficiency in your salah. So it should not be valid also without a valid excuse. You understood? So, فيكره الاتقاء, right? Now, وإن قعد بغير عذر يكره بالاتفاق. Now, if a person sat without any excuse, it will be makruh according to all. So, yeah, what they're saying is, look here, although Imam Hanifa said that even if you got no real excuse, you just laziness and you're sitting, your salat will be valid, but there will be a degree of reprehensibility in it. That's what they're saying. So وتجوز الصلاة عنده ولا تجوز عندهما. So this person that now leaned and read his namaz, he leaned on a stick or he leaned against the wall, the salat will be correct according to Hanifa, because he's saying that, look here, like how it will be correct, but a degree of karahat, because here, وَإِنْ قَعْدَ بِغَيْرِ أُذْرٍ يُكْرَهُ عِنْدَهُ. So what he's saying is, the salah will be valid if you leaned, nafil namaz, right? But we say with a degree of reprehensibility. وَتَجُوزُ الصَّلَاةُ عِنْدَهُ وَلَا تَجُوزُ عِنْدَهُمَا. According to Sahibain, this is similar to sitting and reading your nafil namaz. It is not permissible except with excuse. You understood it? Right? وَقَدْ مَرَّ فِي بَابِ النَّوَافِلِ. And all of these details pass in detail in the chapter of Nawafil. Now the next masla is a very, very interesting masla. It is about reading in a shab salah. And inshallah, obviously we don't travel by ship so much nowadays, unless maybe you go on a luxury cruise or something. So I will, from my side, I will put in the masla of travel, reading salah on a plane after we do that. Okay, read it, Bismillah.
قائدا من غير علة أجزأه عند أبي حنيفة والقياس ولا ولا يترك إلا لكده، وله أن لو فيها دوران الرأس وهو كالمتحدث إلا أن
Okay, before we look at the actual text, let me explain to you. See, Imam Abu Hanifa says, when the ship is out in ocean, it is not moored in the harbor or whatever. Then whether there is choppy waters or not, either way you can sit and read Salah. Why? Because he said most of the time out in the ocean, the waters are choppy. The waters are choppy. So the inlet is already there. The inlet is mutayakan. So if you are out in the ocean, you can sit and read. The rukniyat of Qiyam falls away. Simon said, no, you have to first experience the choppy waters before you can sit and read. See, وَمَنْ صَلَّى فِي السَّفِينَةِ. Whoever reads Salah in a ship, قَائِدًا, sitting, min غَيْرِ إِلَّةٍ, without a reason. In other words, what Imam Hanifa is saying, that even normally what happens if you're going to stand on a ship, now remember, maybe back then, maybe what you call what you say marine travel was not as advanced as it is today. So probably the boats would be tossed around in the ocean a lot. You don't have these huge ships, huge cargo ships, these huge luxury liners. Maybe the boats were made out of wood and etc. So it would be tossed. So most of the time, you would be thrown around. So Imam Hanifa says, even if you are sailing in calm waters, but most of the time it happens. So so we'll understand that the choppy waters are there because most of the time it does happen. So even if you, from the very onset, in choppy waters out at sea, you pray sitting, your salah will be valid, no problem. The rukniyat of qiyam will drop off. You understood that? So, min غير إلة أجزأه in the Abi Hanifata. But he says, although he says your salah will be valid, but if you can stand and read, especially if you're in calm waters, وَالْقِيَامُ أَفْضَلُ, to stand is better, right? So here's time, وَقَالَ لَا يُجْزِي إِلَّا مِنْ أُذْرٍ. They say, look here, if you are in calm waters, you have to stand and read. You have to stand and read. You cannot sit except when you hit choppy waters, right? So they say if you sat and read in calm waters, your salah will not be correct because now you left out an important rukn of the salah, which is qiyam, right? وقال لا يجزي إلا من أذر. Why? لأن القيام مقدور عليه, because qiyam مقدور is fixed upon him. فلا يترك, it will not be left out. So you cannot leave it until the excuse come there. When the excuse comes, then you can. Now, Imam, whatever says, see, look here, ولو أن الغالب فيه دوران رأسي وهو كالمتحقق. Imam Abu Hanifa says, look here, most of the time, as I said, previous marine travel was not advanced. Most of the time, dawran ras, the spinning of the head is there. You will get dizzy, you get nauseous all of the time. وهو كالمتحقق. So as though it is there, so it is, so if something happens most of the time, then you consider it to be there all the time, right? إلا أن القيام الأفضل. But even Imam Hanifa says, look here, even though it's permissible for you to sit in the calm waters, but if you can stand, there'll be more reward, right? لأنه أبعد عن شبهة الخلاف, because it is more distant from the doubt of khilaf. So here we learn some important masala also. That sometimes in the Hanafi madhab we say this is the opinion of Imam Hanifa, this is the Imam of Imam Hanifa said it's permissible, Imam Yusuf said it's permissible. But to practice upon the cautious view is always better. And we'll take it even one step further. Not only the cautious view on your own madhab, even to practice on the cautious view out of your madhab is more better. So what are you saying? Like I told you, I mentioned this to you, if you are the imam of a masjid, and especially I got Shafi followers here, and in your madhab, if you touch your wife, your wudu don't break. But out of respect for your Shafi followers, every time you touch your wife, you make a fresh wudu, that you are staying out of the ikhtilaf. This means according to all the madhab, within your own madhab and the madhab of the Shafi, Maliki, your wudu is intact. So that's what I show you. لأنه أبعد عن شبهة الاختلاف, because it is more distant from the doubt of khilaf. So as an alim, as a mufti, as a sheikh, to stay as far away as possible from difference of opinion, that is the best thing, right? So والخروج أفضل ما أمكنه. So والخروج أفضل ما أمكنه, to come out of the khilaf. Sorry, that if you know, for example, that you will be reaching land, like before the time of the salah come out, then to come out of the ship and read your salah, that is the best thing. والخروج أفضل ما أمكنه. And they say, why is it better? So here also, like maybe on this ibarat, like if you are flying in the plane, right? And you know that like for example, Zohar time, we're gonna arrive at 2 o'clock. There's still an Asr time only comes out, or Zohar time only comes out at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. So there will be sufficient time. There will be sufficient time for me to come on land and read my salah. Then it's better to rather not read on the plane or not read on the ship, rather come to land safely and read salah. Why? Because you are out of the ikhtilaf here, and you'll be more at peace, your mind will be more settled, etc., etc. So it's better. But yes, the problem comes about when you know that uh, by the time we land, the time will be out. Or by the time we land, we get our bags, whatever, or then time will be out, so your salah will become qadha, right? So so if it's possible to come down on land and read and within the time, that would be better, but not make our salah qadha, right? والخلاف في غير المربوطة. And this ikhtilaf here, what you saying that Imam Hanifa said you can sit despite you not being choppy waters, this is in an untied ship. Not, in other words, this is when the ship is out at sea. Once the ship is tied, it is in the harbor, it is moored with the, tied, then you have to stand and read, because normally when the ship is tied up, it is not in choppy water, right? So والمربوطة كالشط, the tied ship, مربوطة ربط يربط مربوط, the tied ship كالشط, it is like a stationary ship, والصحيح, and this is the correct mazhab. So I was telling you, this masla according to Imam Hanifa, when you're out in the ocean, even though there's no choppy waters, you can still sit and read, but better to stand, right? So I may say, if it's choppy waters, you can sit, but if there's no choppy waters, you have to stand, right? And then when when the boat is steadied at the shore, then there, according to both Imam Hanifa and Sahibain, you will have to stand and read, because there is no dawran or ras, right? So coming back to the masala of the plane, interesting, some ulama, this one Ustad by Madrasa Zakaria, he says when you on the plane, your salat is not valid at all. Why he says your salat is not valid at all? I'll give you the reasoning. Although this is like what you say, a nadir qawl, it's not accepted. You say, look here, isn't it when you remember when we done here in the beginning of the kitab, that when you make sajda, your forehead must be firm on the ground. Remember, we done that. And even this masla comes about some while ago. There was a new musalla that came out. They call it, what they call it, memory foam musalla, memory foam, like a very soft musalla. So then people were asking the masla, can you make sajda on a memory foam musalla? The answer the ulama gave, they say, look here, it is necessary from the conditions of sajda that your head must be firm on the ground. But if you whatever it is, whether it's a memory foam musalla or whether you're making salah on the blanket or you're making salah on a duvet, if you press your head hard down, and as a result of that, you feel the firmness of the ground, then your sajda is done. So no matter how thick the musalla is, no matter how thick the blanket is, no matter how thick the duvet is, as long as when you're pressing, it's not that your head is going more down, more down, more down, more down. You press it until you can feel the firmness of the ground, then your sajda is done. You understood that? So even though it's a thick musalla, it's a thick, as long as you feel the firmness of the ground. So from that masala, you see that you must feel the firmness of the ground for your sajda to be valid. So that's this alim is saying, now look here, when you're in the plane, there is no connection between the plane and the ground. The plane is suspended in the air. So you're not feeling the firmness of the ground. It's your sajda is not valid. But as I said, this is what you say, it's a very rare masla. You can't take with the what you say, the shawaz. You know, it's shawaz of every single person. So so he says, no, you mustn't read the Maj, you must read when you land. But anyway, the best thing is this here. Remember, Qiyam and Qibla are conditions of Salah, right? So if you are able to read your Salah on the plane in such a manner that you are able to stand and you're able to face the Qibla, then we'll say your Salah is done 100%. You don't have to repeat it. So now in certain airlines, like the Saudi airline, they have the Musalla in the back there. So if you stand, you face the Qibla, normally they give you the direction of the Qibla. Or maybe if you're taking a local flight at the back, obviously in a local flight, normally there's a lot of time because your local flight is 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So either they'll be before the entry time or after when you land. But if it has happened as such that now by the time you're going to land, there will be no time, then what you'll do is you will have to request the air personnel, look here, I want to, you put at the back, you're going to start serving food, whatever. So I'd like to pray. Can you give me a few minutes? So if you work out the Qibla, which plane is, nowadays you get apps. There's an app that when you work for the whole country, it will work out exactly wherever you are, your Qibla. And also it will work out your Salah time. Because remember, you traveling from Zimbabwe to PE, or you traveling from Joburg to PE, so you don't know at what point in time where you are. You're not sure, and you don't know what is the entry time, exit time there. So there's an app today. It will give you exactly your Qibla, and it will give you exactly what time your Salah time come in and out for the whole world. So you say, I want to read Salaya. But if they refuse, they say, I'm sorry, we can't. Like, if you, so certain airlines, like this Egypt airline, you tell them how to read Salah, can I go read Salah? They'll tell you no. The Mufti of Al Azhar say, no, you mustn't. You can sit and read. Or they'll tell you, no, it's not necessary to read. They got their own fatwas. They'll tell you what their Mufti say. So the first thing is this here, if you can stand and read and face the Qibla, then your Salah is done. No need to repeat it. It's done. But if they refuse, they say, no, you can't stand here, whatever. It's not correct for you to stand here, or be busy, there's no time. Then what you do is you sit in your seat. And if you can face the Qibla a little bit, but obviously there's a limitation. I mean, if the plane is flying the opposite direction of the Qibla, there's no way you can face the Qibla. So if you can face, if you discharge yourself the plane without facing the Qibla and without standing, then when you land, you should repeat it. Then when you land, you should repeat it. Similar, if you travel on a bus, whatever, you try to read your salah, when the bus make it stop. And if the bus stop, you request the bus driver, look, can you just stop a few minutes and pray? If he doesn't allow you, then you must read in the plane, in the bus. And if you were not standing and you were not facing the Qibla, because maybe there was no space, the bus was overcrowded, and the bus was traveling the opposite direction of the Qibla, then read it inshallah. And when you get back to your destination, obviously there's still time, you read it again, you read time, but if no time, you make qadha of it, inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will give you still the full reward. So we stop there, inshallah. Now we'll switch over to the tafsir.